Oh, here we go.
Tits.
Fuck a duck, Charming. You couldn't clear that shit out of your throat before recording? Are you alright?
Oh, I'm alright. It's my throat, it hurts.
Jeez, well, now I feel bad. Kinda. We have to make a video though, mate. Are you gonna be fine?
I'll be fine, I'll do the intro. I promise, Sugartits. I can do it, I can talk all day.
Well, alright then. Just don't let me down here, man. This is YouTube, you know. Gotta make this all professional looking. And shit. Go on, run the intro then.
How's it going, everyone? It's your boy, Charming Man 93, here with a wonderful collaboration with my girl, Sugartits.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about a week-long story, but it's still very much relevant to the cultural zeitgeist. So I think you guys really ought to see this because, well, it's completely, utterly retarded.
Fucking retarded.
So retarded that you will be literally seething with rage by the end of this video. Such is the retardation, such is the veracity of the people in the story to let someone off with such a crime because of such bizarre, retarded reasons.
Retarded reasons as fuck.
So, without further ado, Sugartits, are you ready?
Ready, Sea-Dog93.
Well, let's get into this story. And today's story is Oxford student who stabbed a boyfriend could be spared jail because of her extraordinary talent.
What the... Unless that talent is DVDA, send that bitch to jail. Ew, DVDA. Gross.
Ah, just look at her. Isn't that someone you wouldn't punch? Oh, sorry, was that sexist? I didn't know. Sorry, let me rephrase that.
I'll rephrase that. Punch her in the minge.
Isn't that someone who is totally sane? Isn't that someone who you totally go out on a date with and totally not fear for your life when you're around her? Is that a better SJWs? Is that better?
Definitely less triggering. But I like the minge punching thing.
An Oxford University student who stabbed her boyfriend could be spared jail after a judge said she had an extraordinary talent for medicine.
And she looks hot as fuck in a nurse's outfit. No, seriously, what the hell is wrong with these people?
Are you angry yet? Are you seething with rage that this woman has managed to get away with such a crime because she's apparently got potential to be a great surgeon?
Well, I'm not getting a semi-hard on, that's for sure, Charming. That's for sure.
Well, let's continue.
Okay. Sorry.
Lavinia Woodward, 24, who studied at Christ Church College, Oxford, stabbed her Cambridge-educated boyfriend in the leg on December 30th last year following a row. The pair had a drink and drug-fueled argument and Woodward punched and swiped at the victim with a bread knife.
Again with the bread knife thing. What is it with bread knives lately? Like, here's a picture of Emo Onision being a certifiably gay love child of Edward Scissorhands and Freddy Krueger. And look, he's got a fucking bread knife. I thought it was funny as hell when I first saw this, but now I'm having second thoughts about the hilarity of using a bread knife to look intimidating. Actually no, Onion, you still look like a clown-faced dickhead.
She then stabbed the man before hurling a laptop glass and a jam jar at him. So already we're beginning to see some excuses form here for the judge, aren't we? It was just drug-fueled, it was alcohol-fueled, it was an argument.
And vagina.
It's not like she did all these violent acts on the guy, but it was drug-fueled, it was alcohol-fueled, so clearly, according to social justice land logic, she was in no way in control of herself. Even though she had all these acts on him, it was an argument, and it seemed like she knew exactly what she was doing. I don't know about you, Sugartits.
I think it's a classic example of how women receive far more leniency when sentenced for the same crime than a man would. Or in this case, no penalty whatsoever. What's that you say? You stabbed a guy with a bread knife? Well, that's no good. Quick, show us your vag and tits, love, and you're free to go. Good luck with the medical career.
Prosecutor Kathy Oliver said Woodward met her boyfriend on Tinder. Well, kids, you've learnt a lesson here. Don't use Tinder for long-term relationships.
But it's great for gay butt-banging quickie sessions.
You might just meet a crazy on there. Or a catfish. or a fake profile just trying to scam you out of money because they want to get money for this like dating app or something. Watch yourselves, kids. The pair had a row, and when he threatened to call Woodward's mother, his then girlfriend punched him before picking up a bread knife and stabbing him in the leg. Oh well, I wonder why he had to call her mother. I wonder why. Was she being so much for trouble for this man that he had to call her mother? Was this drug and alcohol fueled exchange one of many? Does she have an issue with drugs and alcohol? But hey, you know what, right? That's got nothing to do with anything what could have happened to him in the past. But you'll see, people, you'll see.
And it's often in cases of domestic violence that both the man and woman engage in physical violence towards each other.
The victim, believed to be a PhD student at Cambridge University, had begun dating Woodward earlier in the term after they met on dating app Tinder. She admitted a charge of unlawful wounding at Oxford Crown Court, and Judge Ian Pringle said the offence would normally mean a custodial sentence. She admitted to the crime, even though this is a little bit more than unlawful wounding. She stabbed him in the leg. There's arteries in your leg. If she'd hit him in an artery, if they didn't stop the bleeding sooner, hypothetically speaking, he could have died. He could have bled out if she hit an artery there. But you know what? Unlawful wounding, despite throwing a jam jar, punches and kicks, and stabbing him. Yeah, that's unlawful wounding. That seems to me like grievous bodily harm, if you ask me. But hey, whatever, it's a woman, so it's unlawful wounding. When it's a man, I assume it's either grievous bodily harm or attempted murder or some kind of thing, I don't know.
Vag privilege, Charming. Vag privilege. But I wonder, seeing that she's such a rising talent in the medical field, she must have known what damage would have potentially been caused from where she stuck that knife in.
And remember, people, normally it would carry a custodial sentence. So, for some reason, there is a special case here. But he then deferred sentencing for a period of 4 months and hinted that she would not be jailed because of her extraordinary talent. Well, there you go. That's why she's being deferred for 4 months, because she has an extraordinary talent. So, for those of you who are feminists and complain about Brock Turner or any rich white guy or any rich man in general or some other kind of man, doesn't really matter, who goes to jail for a crime that you think was a very lenient sentence, never ever bring that up in a debate again, because this happened. This right here, this story completely puts all those stories to shame, because she got away with it. This isn't even a lenient sentence. This isn't even a slap on the wrist.
I gotta admit, it's pretty disturbing that she completely walked away from this with no punishment whatsoever.
He said, "It seems to me that if this was a one-off, a complete one-off, to prevent this extraordinary able young lady from not following her long-held desire to enter the profession she wishes to, would be a sentence which would be too severe." Oh, you know, who wouldn't want a crazy, clearly psychopathic person to become their doctor? I mean, I, for one, would love this person who's going to be a surgeon cutting for the very first time. I mean, if I say something to her that's in any way provocative, whether I mean to or not, on a very bad, stressful day, I might end up with a stabbed leg or worse, but it's okay. She's got extraordinary talent, so the country would be remiss to refuse such an opportunity to her.
And if she doesn't cut it with a surgical knife, she can still cut you a wicked slice of bread and make you a patriarchally oppressive sandwich.
What you did will never, I know, leave you, but it was pretty awful, and normally it would attract a custodial sentence, whether it is immediate or suspended. So she doesn't even get a suspended sentence, or any kind of sentence. She's getting off scot-free. She can continue to go and date other men on Tinder and potentially hurt them.
What's the bet she's fucking the judge and they met on Tinder?
Because it's just a one-off, guys, right? It's a one-off. There's nothing to see here. Move along. She didn't do nothing, right? Even though this argument was so bad, he was willing to call her own mother. Not his own mother, not the authorities, her mother. So that implies to me that something has been going on in their relationship, and for some reason, the court or the police didn't bring that up or investigate that to see if this was a one-off, if they hadn't had prior history of fighting or her being abusive to him or anything like that. No, nothing of the sort. Oxford Police, Crown Prosecution Service, anything? No, nothing. Sugartits, help me out here. I'm beginning to get really brain dead here, trying to think for the police and the Crown Prosecution Service.
Well, often there is a bias in these cases to sympathise with the woman. Women ultimately have a higher victim status. Male victims can be falsely arrested and removed from their homes because of the assumption that because they are male, they must be a perpetrator and not a victim.
The court was told her college will allow her to return in October because she is that bright and has had articles published in medical journals. Well, she's not so bright that she would take drugs and alcohol and assault somebody and potentially ruin her future, right? But hey, you know what? If this was a man, he would never be setting foot in Christchurch College ever again, because this is what happens in Oxford and loads of other universities across the West. If a male student commits a crime like this, or a sexual crime, he'll be lucky to even set foot in that college again. And if he does, he will be ostracised, and in some cases, he will even be subject to performance art by crazy feminist ideologues. But hey, you know what? It's different when a girl does it.
Yep. Good thing men can rely on that good old male privilege in these situations.
However, she's unlikely to be able to become a surgeon, as her criminal conviction would have to be disclosed, said Jim Sturman QC defending. Well, firstly, she hasn't even been convicted of anything. The judge is letting her go. She might have an arrest on her record, but as far as I'm aware, and what I can see from this article, she might as well get employed, because it seems like they're giving her a way to finish her PhD and get a job. Well, Sugartits, what the fuck?
Yeah, you'd think that if she was indeed getting off with no sentence, that her record would remain untarnished. Therefore, only her reputation from the publicity of this case would interfere with her future career prospects.
Woodward's name appears on articles published in the medical journals, including the Annals of Thoracic Surgery, Hypertension, and the Journal of Physiology. A source said that her ambition had been to cure heart disease, and added that she had come top of her year in the preclinical tests that all Oxford medical students take at the end of their third year. Oh, you know what? My heart weeps, and I'm so glad that she has appeared in journals. It's not like other students have had their names appear in journals because they do PhDs, and that's one of the things you have to do, right? But hey, you know, whatever, she's a special talent, top of the class, right? And that means it's okay for her to get off scot-free and potentially commit more crimes. But hey, it's alright, she's a woman. She's bright, don't you know?
Wasn't Jack the Ripper a surgeon? Was that a thing? I'm probably just thinking of that movie From Hell with Johnny Depp. Ripper had a thing for dicing prosties too, didn't he? Can you imagine if Jack was around in modern days and also had access to Tinder? But I digress.
According to her Facebook page, she attended Sir James Henderson British School of Milan, a £16,000 a year international school in the Italian city. She left the school in 2011 and began her degree at Oxford in the same year. And here is another aspect to the story, the wealth side of it. So not only does she have the pussy privilege,
Pussy privilege. Lol.
She has the wealth privilege too. And in Britain, to be honest, wealth privilege is probably one of the main reasons why people can probably get away with going to jail or getting lenient sentences. Because they can hire the lawyers, they can hire the legal teams and have the sympathy of the judges, who will most likely be the same class as them. So they will be given a lot of leniency. We have a very structured class system here, and we have since, well, the beginning of our country, really.
Really?
Really. Well, even before 1707. So, yeah, that's another aspect of the story. I mean, a £16,000 school in Milan. Like, I could never dream of such a thing. I went to my local metropolitan, which is basically a polytechnic for poor people to learn skills. So, yeah. She had a very troubled life and had been abused by another former partner, her defence lawyer told the court. Woodward, who was present in court for the sentencing hearing, is currently believed to be on holiday in Barbados. She's set to return to the university for the next academic year.
So deeply reflecting on her actions, showing great remorse while sipping cocktails, smoking blunts and chilling with Rihanna in Barbados.
Oh, she was a victim of abuse in another relationship. Therefore, that should be used with the sentencing. That should be taken into account, even though she committed a crime. I don't know about you guys, but I feel that's irrelevant.
Okay, so maybe I see more reason as to why she would react strongly in this case. But if you take away that victim status stuff, it still doesn't change the fact that she knifed the guy.
After the case, Mr. Sturman said that Woodward had been making every effort to get her life back on track, and added, "She has been seeing a counsellor. This is not a soft option. This is a judge giving her a fair chance to prove herself." Oh, She's doing therapy.
Yeah, therapy is not a soft punishment. She sits on a couch and talks about her feels for fuck's sake. And anyway, she's in Barbados right now. Probably getting her junk wet with some heavy Barbados dick. Some therapy.
A fair chance to prove herself. Therapy. This is not a fair chance. This is somebody walking away from a crime she admitted to because the judge thinks that it's a one-off and she's bright. Literally, that's what it is. This is a perversion of justice. Woodward will be sentenced on September 25th. She was given a restraining order and told to stay drug-free and not to re-offend. A spokesman for Christchurch College said, "I'm afraid that Christchurch College does not comment on the circumstances of individual students. Unless they're men, then I'm sure you probably would." And her sentencing is going to be in a couple of months from now in autumn. So let's wait and see what happens there. But he's already let her get away with it, so we know what's going to happen. So, Sugartits, any last words?
Sadly, I become less and less surprised every time I hear stories like this. Vag makes good victim status. Pretty much sums this shit up.
And I'd like to thank Sugartits for allowing us to do this collaboration.
No worries, charm dog.
It means a lot. It's been fun. I'll see you guys later.
Tits out.